The calories that we eat come from three macronutrients: carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And today, we're going to start with protein. With every gram of protein consumed, there are 4 calories. For example, in one egg, there are approximately 6 grams of protein, which makes up 24 calories of energy, with the rest being made up of fat and some carbs. But why is protein important? One of the key benefits of eating protein is that it helps with quick and sustainable weight loss. We often talk about weight loss, but when you think about it, what we really want is fat loss. So when trying to lose weight, if your protein intake is too low, a lot of the weight that you lose is muscle mass and some fat mass, instead of all fat. This is because your body will break down muscle mass and use this as energy if you have reduced your calorie intake. But when protein intake is higher, then you preserve your muscle mass but lose more fat. This makes it easier to maintain a calorie deficit to lose weight. Eating good amounts of protein also reduces your hunger. It does this by bringing down your levels of the hunger hormone, ghrelin, making you feel fuller for longer and less likely to overconsume calories. Protein also increases metabolic rate. This is because the more muscle you have, the more calorie burning potential you have each day, which means a greater chance of losing weight. Additionally, the body uses up much more energy to digest protein compared to carbohydrates and fats. About 35% of the protein's calories are used up during digestion, compared to carbohydrates and fats, which are about 15%. And finally, it can also prevent weight regain following a period of weight loss. For many, trying to keep weight off can be really hard, but the combination of an increased metabolic rate, high levels of muscle mass, and reduced levels of hunger will contribute to maintaining a healthier weight for life. So eating a good level of protein helps you lose fat more easily and sustainably in the long term. Sustaining your muscle mass will also minimize the effects of aging. For example, a key benefit is that a good amount of protein in your diet will help prevent sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the accelerated loss of muscle mass and function as we age. Whilst pairing an inactive lifestyle with a low protein diet, people can expect to see between 3 to 5% reductions in muscle mass per decade in their 30s. But it doesn't have to be like this. By consuming enough protein in your diet and following an active lifestyle, we can expect to see a much greater quality of life for longer, which ultimately improves our life curve over the long term. A high protein diet not only has a positive impact on our muscular system, but also on our skeletal system, improving bone strength and density, which is especially important for an aging population, as this minimises our risk of bone breaks in the future by acting as body armour for the body. So now we know how important protein is, the question is, how much do you need to optimise your health and well-being? The minimum recommended amount for health and well-being is 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. So for every 1 kilogram you weigh, you need 1.2 grams of protein per day. So a 70 kilogram person would require at least 84 grams of protein per day. However, many studies have shown positive benefits to consuming 2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, even up to 3.3 grams per day when trying to lose weight. But what does a good portion of protein look like in real life? A good way to simplify this is to use your hand as a portion-sized guide. For protein, having a palm-sized amount with main meals is a great place to start to make you consistently consume protein throughout the day. 1 palm would roughly equate to a 25-gram portion of protein. For example, this would be about half a chicken breast, or a portion of tofu and beans. Obviously, the smaller your palm, the smaller your portion should be, because the smaller you are, the less food you should need. So it's a quick, easy, and relative way of managing your portions. So a person who weighs 70 kilograms will need about 84 grams of protein a day, which is the equivalent of 3.5 portions of protein. The last session, we looked at question 1 of the Health by Science plate, where are my veggies? And by including a palm-sized portion of protein with each meal, you are answering the second question of the Health by Science plate. This plate is your new guide to building the healthiest version of your favourite meals. So now you know how much protein you need, you might be wondering what the best sources are. The most common minimally processed protein sources are lean, fresh red meat, chicken and turkey, fish, eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, beans and lentils, and even insects are great sources of protein and very nutrient dense. In general, you should aim to eat more of these sources of protein if you're trying to maximize your health and well-being. Some foods are not as bad as ultra-processed foods, but are not quite as good as the sources we just looked at, because they involve a bit more processing and so lose some of their quality. These are tofu, meat jerky, medium-fat red meats, low-fat cheeses, and protein supplements. So does this mean that we should use supplements? We want the majority of our diet to come from good, quality, nutrient-dense foods. However, when it comes to protein, it can sometimes be handy to have a powder such as whey protein or a vegan-based blend to use as a quick and cost-effective option to boost your daily protein intake. So yes, they can be really helpful, especially if you don't have much time to plan and prepare your nutrition. Just make sure you eat plenty of fruit and vegetables to get your micronutrients as well. Finally, we have the ultra-processed sources, which are foods we should try to eat less of if you want to live a healthy life. These include breaded and fried meat and fish, beef burgers and patties, processed cured meats, bacon, high-fat red meat, and protein bars, which are often full of sugar. As you can see, we haven't categorized things you should or shouldn't eat. There are no good or bad foods, only better quality and poorer quality foods. The more quality you can get, whilst being mindful of your quantity and portions, the easier you'll find it to live a healthy lifestyle. So in summary, the second question you need to ask yourself whenever you're preparing food or ordering food is, where is my protein? And if you're looking for ideas or more information, then check out the "How much protein do I need" section in our FAQs below.